Right, so good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day 40 of our Vine Health live updates, which we do every day just to bring you facts and not fiction, to make sure that you're surviving this pandemic period and to make sure that you're thriving. As you all know, on Fridays, we do what we call a Money Friday, because we believe that it's important that not only are you healthy in your body, but that you're also financially stable during this very unstable time. So today I'm very lucky to be joined by an expert in our midst. His name is Soji Fagade, and I'm going to allow him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Soji Fagade. I don't like being described as an expert because that makes me sound like some sort of guru who knows it all.
That's good.
I'm just a regular chap. My background is I'm a commercial lawyer. I'm also a business analyst and I'm an entrepreneur. So that's me in a nutshell, basically.
All right. So you're a business analyst, you're an entrepreneur, and you're a facilitator. And you've also been involved in starting different businesses. And so it's important to own our space. You know, we all do what we love, and we are happy to have you here.
Thank
So
you.
today, really, I'm going to give you a bit of news about what's happened since yesterday, which I always promise to bring you, because I say to you, don't really watch the news because it's depressing, and try and keep your news intake very, very, very small in short bursts so that you're not upset. And then we'll go straight into talking about money, because that's what we're here to talk about. So, well, if we go first with Nigeria, I'm going to go back to Nigeria today first, actually. Well, the number of cases, dishearteningly, I'm really disheartened by this, has gone up to 981. And as I said, last Saturday was 493. Now it's 981. So hopefully we're keeping an eye on that, and we hope that it will be contained. Number of deaths has gone up to 31. Again, it's increased quite a bit. But I know the NCDC is doing its best to contain all of that going on. In the United Kingdom, things are stable. We up until yesterday was about 616 deaths, which is a bit sad again. But we have all the PPE that we need now. Apparently, we've had 2 truckloads have landed yesterday. So hopefully, PPE saga will be a thing of the past soon. And there are some countries that don't have any coronavirus. So, are you aware that the countries that don't have any form of coronavirus at all?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There are several countries with no coronavirus. There are many of those little islands like Solomon Islands, Nauru, Kiribati, Lesotho. They don't have any coronavirus. So there's some positive places we can all relocate to at some point, in the future. Right. So
you send me the list afterwards.
I can certainly do that. So I'm just going to go straight into talking about money. So the reason why I'm a doctor, I'm not a financial expert. But I started talking about money because I saw that many people were either getting furloughed. Some businesses were reliant on, actually seeing people were closing. And there are all of these initiatives out there that you can tap into. And we had Prince Araromi before, we had Sam last week, and now we're having you. So really, we have many experts in our community, and I think we should keep talking about how we can all thrive. So today, I would like you to help us how we can improve our financial health, essentially, during this COVID pandemic period.
Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to say is like some sort of health related stuff, financial report.
Health?
I guess, in order for us to, it's like the health, wealth, and,
Yes.
Well, I guess that's sort of what you might call like the foundation. But you find that these days, people are having to respond to what happened as opposed to having planned for what happened. Because when you think about it, no one could have foreseen any of this ever happening anyway. So it would have been best laid plans of mice and men wouldn't have even been able to sort of expect that we'll be in this situation. But we are where we are, and the question of trying to make the best of what you might call a potentially difficult situation. You find that some business owners have what they call business continuity planning, whereby they had sort of planned some sort of scenarios of if something doesn't go as well, maybe there's a disaster, emergency, or natural disaster or terrorism act or something, the businesses can still continue, and it's times like this that sort of prepare the sort of businesses to be able to sort of continue to run. Some people may have some sort of business continuity plan that allows them to transition from either working digitally to paperwork because all of a sudden their computers have broken down, But it looks like what we're in now is the opposite, whereby people are having to transform from working from physical offices to digital working, if you like,
What do you mean by business continuity plan for some of us that are not, don't know about that? So what do you mean a business continuity plan? Is that a written down plan?
Well, okay, so that's a very good question. And I guess it's what you might call, it's exactly what it says on the tin. The business that wants to continue, so you have to have a plan to ensure that if your business suffers either some sort of disaster, hardware breakdown, data loss, or whatever, your business doesn't stop because of one event, So what a lot of businesses try to do is to try to envision or visualize a worst case scenario. Say, for instance, earthquake results, and we have to serve. So they look at the whole business from end to end. So from the point of view of the customer, say, if, for instance, how does the customer access our services? Do we have to come and pick up goods from us, or do we have to deliver to them? Or how do we deal with customer processes at the back end? How do our suppliers deliver to us? Or how do our goods get to our customers? Or how do we deliver a service to the customers that we serve? Do we have to rely on an office? If we have an office, do we have computers? If we have computers, we have access to those computers. Is there a fire? There's a fire. What do you do to data? What happens to data? So you sort of have a plan in place to ensure that you write down. So the way it works in practice is you analyze your business from end to end and look at each what you might call specific potential point of failure, if you like. So at every point of failure, you try to identify what that potential point of failure is, right? What you could do to mitigate that potential point of failure, right? And what you can do to ensure that your business continues to run if that point of failure is not there.
I have so many questions. It's really interesting how you say it, and this is what we would expect every business to do, no matter how small. But for our viewers, I would like to know how many people actually have this sort of plans written down. Because for someone like me, who I'm a career doctor, but I also have a company that supplies and that does supplements. And during this period now, we're not shipping abroad, so we're shipping within the UK. And thank you for everybody who's buying our supplements. Thank you very much. But we're not shipping abroad. So I almost feel like I failed. I didn't think about the business continuity plan.
Well,
I was going to make sure that all our supplements were getting to everywhere they needed to get to quickly. Yeah. They can still get there, but it's slower than normal,
Yeah. So like you said, it's sad, but unfortunately, most people don't even think of things like this. Everyone assumes that things run smoothly, and if at all, people only think of mainly in one direction, and usually about data failure. Say, for instance, how do I back up data on my computer?
Yeah.
In case of fire or theft, they don't think beyond that. So what business continuity planning helps you to do is sort of think what you might call big picture, in terms of like end-to-end planning, and ideally, if you write it down, and depending on the size of your business, obviously would determine the type of detail, how much detail you go into in terms of what elements you want to include in that business continuity plan. So if you've got a big business, obviously you've got so many departments. Each department will sort of have their own little mini plan within a big plan, if you like, Or if you have a small or medium-sized business, that would also mean that maybe your plans may not be as detailed as maybe a much larger organization that has many factors to take into account. But broadly, the principles are always the same. Where do we expect trouble, basically, right? And when you mean trouble, you think things along the lines of fire, theft, terrorism, earthquake, emergency, flood, whatever you want to, potential anything that can potentially threaten your business. Now, a lot of people would never expected anything like COVID-19, so it will be close to impossible to plan for something like COVID. But if you did a bit of terrorism planning, right, then a lot of the planning that you did for terrorism planning may have helped you to overcome things like COVID, because it would have meant that, okay, most likely if you plan that your office space, you couldn't access it, you potentially would have had data stored in the cloud with potentially access to your data remotely, and hopefully you can be able to work without having to have a physical office to work from. But things like social distancing and cleaning of tables and sanitizing, all of those things may not have necessarily been in your plans at the time. But obviously, new situations bring in new thoughts and new plans to take into account those sort of things.
Okay. If you have a small business, okay, this business continuity plan, is this like a template? You have to get a professional to do it for you. If you have a small business that is not turning over a whole lot of money, and how do you do it? What are the practicalities of putting one in place? It's a bit too late now, isn't it?
Well, it is. Well, I think in practice, I mean, there are two ways you can do it, right? The internet is such a vast pool of information that you can find out there. There's so much information on business continuity planning out there that you can sort of read up on your own and see what's available. Especially if you can't afford to pay a consultant to come and have a look at it for you, look at your business for you. What most businesses tend to do, businesses that can afford it tend to do, is to have someone come in outside, because they always say that it's best that you get somebody who is not invested in your business to look at potential areas of threat to your business from the outside, because they can see things that you can't see, because you're too engrossed in it, So ideally, you should have some sort of consultant help you out with those sort of things. So the two ways, the cheap way, where you can do yourself, just a template out there, sort of follow if you like, I'm going to post a template at some point, maybe in about a day or two, where people can sort of use as sort of guide to.
Really kind of you, if you don't mind sharing that with us.
No problem. Like sort of guide to plan for the future, Also, we've got this. I don't know. I think you're part of it, aren't you? An enterprise experts group.
Yeah.
So it's going to post it in there. If you want to join the group, by all means, please join the Facebook group, and you can sort of pick up tips from there.
If you just post the details in the chat, on the comment box afterwards, that would be really.
I will. No problem. I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. So give us, I would like just like 3 clear tips of what we can do now, because honestly, the horse has bolted.
I know.
I think for me is basically now.
So what I would say is this, right? Again, depending on type of business, I was going to sort of talk a little bit about what you might call how you can use your digital assets, what you have now.
Yes.
In order to sort of improve either your revenue, or if you don't have revenue coming in from those digital sources, how you can actually ensure that those digital sources begin to give you revenue, right? So the major source of when people think of digital tools, they think in terms of their website, they think of social media handles, they think in terms of online platforms that they can sort of use to enhance their business. Again, it depends on what sort of business that you're involved in. If you're making shoes, obviously you want to be able to sell those shoes, So you got to think 2 things. Do you have the capacity to be able to still work safely, to manufacture whatever you're manufacturing, maintaining those guidelines to ensure that your premises remain safe, Now, if you know that your premises are safe enough to carry out the work that you're meant to do, and it's essential work, like you said, right? Then obviously you can continue to produce those items. But the question then becomes, how do you transport the goods to those people that want to buy them? How do they buy them from you? Since you don't have physical stuff for them to come and pick up stuff from, can they order from you online? So a lot of people have websites that people do not even know that those websites exist. you know, so it may well be a question of you having to look at your digital assets and say, how can I improve them to ensure that they're able to deliver me revenue? So it will be looking at your website and thinking, okay, how can I drive traffic to that site to ensure that I want to have a customer that will come and buy goods from me. And when they do come and buy goods from me, the experience that they get on the site when they get there, would it be pleasant enough for them to stay there, buy the goods, and possibly recommend my service or the site to a third party down the line? So it then becomes a question of how do you sort of map your customer experience from what they're doing now. So you look at your site and thinking, okay, how can I improve my site? A lot of things that you can do yourself, you know, especially if you sort of think through what you might call a potential customer's journey. I was having a chat with my brother yesterday, and I was saying that he had a friend who sells chin chin in Lagos, right? And this person has a very thriving chin chin business, right? But she's thinking very much of going online and trying to sell chin chin online and stuff like that, you know. But I said to her, look, hang on. Why don't you think for a few seconds, how do people actually buy chin chin? Do they actually want to say, if I want to buy chin chin, I'm going to pick up my phone and order online? Of course not. Except, of course, you actually make them want to order online. How do you do that? So you either have to create, either you have the ads in the right channels or where they go to create your visibility and make sure that, oh, hang on, oh, it's possible to buy chin chin online. There's an ad about buying chin chin online. And then when they click on that ad, you can take them straight to the site to enable them to buy. So what you find is that people don't want to click 18, 19, 20 times. They want to click once or twice, in the most cases 3 times, from end to end, you know, when they want to buy whatever they want to buy, you know. So you're trying as much as possible to ensure that your site mirrors what I might call ideal customer experience.
That's really useful. I think everybody should hear that. This is really important stuff, I'll say. And I can attest to that. Your digital assets, as you said, need to be well optimized during this time. So, and if you're at home or you've been furloughed, this is the time to look at your digital assets, look at your social media handles, see that you're selling whatever you're selling through them at all times and your services. I think that's really, really useful, actually. Yeah, that's really useful. So what about tip number 2?
Well, the tip number 2, we talk about executing business. Okay.
Oh, you know 3 then. So it's planning, digital assets, and okay, tip number 3. Fine.
Right. So here we have a situation whereby we have you've either been followed from work, you haven't got digital assets that work, or you don't have any digital skills at all in terms of your skill sets. This might be a good time to actually brush up on those things, because whether we like it or not, we're in an age whereby those skills are so important, you know. And fortunately, also, things have gone up, what you might call more than 3, 4, 5 notches, you know. In the past, you used to have to buy a lot of stuff, pay for plenty of stuff. There's a lot of free stuff out there, a lot of free resources that you can access that give you on YouTube, on Facebook, you know, all sorts of stuff, even on Instagram, you know, and the website that actually provide you free resources that you can, you know, someone that will ask you to pay after a while, but at least you get the knowledge that will give you the sort of background foundation that can provide you those digital skills that can get you going. And then you sort of build on that, and then you might want to specialize. And because I mean, with digital skills, there's so many different areas, you know, that you might want to sort of choose one and focus on one.
Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. So we've got 3 tips. I think the education bit is really important. Educating oneself is so key. And I've been learning. I'm on a steep learning curve, and I can attest to that. This is all Zoom on Facebook business. This is my 3rd go at it, and I think hopefully this one will be the best one. So I'm learning and trying to read and understand this. But if somebody was a completely digitally naive and they wanted to start to learn how to sort of understand things, you will say go to YouTube and just type something, is it, or just choose one?
Yeah, so choose one. Okay, let's just think of it, for instance, right? I mean, how do you set up a social media account, for instance, right? So if you type in Google, how do I set up a social media account? Just type it like that. Just like to search, go to Google, type in how do I set up a social media account.
Yeah.
So you might think social media would mean things like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know, you think, okay, fine. Which account do I want to set up? Twitter? Go to Twitter. I mean, it will tell you how to set up a Twitter account, you know. And then when you set up a Twitter, it also tells you how do you get followers? How do you get
Yes.
people? Because there's no point having an account and you're the only one there, you know. I mean,
it's a real art, and I find that the younger generation are very, very good at it, and just
yes,
all those followers. I don't know how they do it, and we will just keep on doing our best, isn't it?
absolutely. Well, that's a different topic on
A
its own.
different topic on its own, isn't it?
How you get followers and people to sort of tune in or buy your products, if you like. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, I really appreciate everyone who's been watching and sharing and just posting our videos. As I said, this is just more to give, you know, of our knowledge and to do it together, because nobody can do this alone. So I'm going to summarize what you've said quickly. The 3 tips that you gave us today is like, well, if you haven't done your business continuity plans before this time, it's not too late to think about your business continuity plan for the future. So look at templates. You're also going to share a template in a day or 2 so that we can use that. And if you can afford to get Soji services to help you plan your business or to help you do your plan,
Don't make me sound super expensive. You know, you're trying to scare away my potential clients. I say, if you can afford to, of course you can afford to.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm only kidding. Sorry.
I know. I'm just saying that sometimes people think we're just trying to sell, you know, our services. Yes, you're trying to sell your services, but at the same time, there are options for everyone, and you can never go wrong with the professional, to be honest. So that's the first tip. The second tip is that you should transfer your business and make sure that it's digitally sound, essentially. And if you have any digital assets, as you call them, make sure that they are secure and you have a look at them. And thirdly, to educate yourself. I almost feel as if you should turn that around, but educate yourself in digital world. And if you don't do it, you're not going to improve, really. I think, have I captured your thoughts?
I couldn't have done it better myself.
any final sort of advice you want to give our viewers before we go?
I think one of the things about this whole COVID thing is this, right? I mean, you find that you're probably reading every day a lot of negative stuff and plenty of positive stuff as well. Thankfully, you know, you're getting people coming up with all sorts of ideas about how we can sort of cope with the challenges of COVID as it is now, right? And then what's going to happen down the line, you know? So my own sort of word of advice is this: look, I'm not sure there's any right or wrong. You've got to look at your own situation personally or collectively within your own household and thinking, okay, what's the best way forward, right? And as much as possible, you know, what this has taught us again is sort of think, okay, how can we ensure that we position ourselves in a way that we won't get caught out again, if you like, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
And at the same time, not worry too much, if you like. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't prepare, you know, but it's not the end of the world, you know. It's not. We've learned a lot. Whatever lessons that we've taken up, we've learned in this period. Let's try and apply them going forward in whatever we do. Basically, that's my
Thank you. And we've learned not to take each other for granted. When this is all over, make sure you connect with someone, have lunch, all those lunches that you've been putting off. Maybe you will then sort of take it on. I want to say Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers. Thank you, and I hope the month of Ramadan is get all the blessings that you're hoping for. And also to say to you guys that, you know, there's always an opportunity in every storm, and I think that no matter how difficult it is, there's an opportunity in here. I've had 3 men now actually giving us sort of financial advice in a row. So hopefully maybe Soji can introduce us to a woman who can come next Friday and talk about Money Friday. And tomorrow will be Saturday, Wellness Saturday. So come on again and we'll share about our wellness tomorrow. But thank you so much for giving your time for free. It's really much appreciated.
Welcome. You're most welcome. My pleasure.
And
you give so much of your time for free all the time, you know. It's amazing work that you do. Amazing work, you know.
Thank you. God bless everyone. Bye. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow.
Bye.